Hello, everyone. This is part 5 of my review of Daredevil Born Again, which was Daredevil 227 to Daredevil 233. And it ended up being called Born Again, which was the title of the story prior to this one, to the fourth one. And so, as I've done with the last few, I want to show you a quick look at this, guys. At the hey Flighty, afternoon of Daredevil Born Again Artist Edition, Dave Mazzucchelli. So I'm going to go to this part 5, and just show a few pages, and also the between pages, which is Mazzucchelli in 2007. I don't know if it was for a portfolio or commission or something, where he drew Daredevil in different ways. So here's the one. And after chapter 4, this is what he did. Check that out, guys. Very different than the art in this story, but awesome. I love the placement of the blacks on the suit. Very different than what he used to. He delineated a lot more on the muscles and stuff. He formed the muscles with them. This time he just puts like these blob lines, which work. You know, it really works well. So that's beautiful. He did a number of these. It's enough for each of these chapters, I think, 7 of them. Also, the cover to this issue, check it out. That's the way it was. And then on vellum, I guess this is the way they did it. The letters, pretty awesome. And then there's just a few choice images I want to show here, like this one. Look at that, dramatic as hell. Beautiful. Great anatomy, great pose, great drama, great shadow. And if you look at his art here, it's a lot rougher than it's been. More rough than the last issue. Last issue he used some pen lines, a little leaner, thinner lines. This one he went a lot rougher. That's interesting. It's a very different look. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but I just want to show, again, a few choice images like this, you know. Look at Ben Urich. Look at this also, just these type of things. Like the straight line right there. A straight line, boom. I just like that. And then the more traditional wrinkles on the clothing. Look at Matt running over the rooftops. He's back in the action in this one after surviving the last issue. Check out the or more or less all the gray you see came from Mazzucchelli. And here it looks like he used some graphite or charcoal or something for the face in the middle. Karen, and look at those eyes. Look at those. That's incredibly dramatic. Looks like the junkie she has been. Anyway, a few more choice images, and then I'm gonna get going on the review. Just this page, you know, the action. It's really, really good. That bottom panel is fantastic. Great angle, great shot. All right, guys, let me go. Hey, Jimmy, how are you? All right, guys. So let me go here. And here we go. So again, this is the 5th part of the story that ended up being collected as Born Again, Daredevil Born Again. Frank Miller returned with his, the greatest Daredevil story I think he ever told. Arguably his best writing, just in terms of writing. Again, I still hold The Dark Knight Returns as his finest work. Writing, drawing, everything. But here we go. All right, guys, so there's the cover. And after, I think, the first video, I decided I'll read the entire thing. I have an hour and a half until I got to get going, so that should be enough. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it, man, as always. Okay, so we're back in Fogwell's gym, which is a gym that I think Battling Jack Murdoch, Matt's father, used to train at. And he's, you know, fapping away at the punching bag. Fap, fap, fap. So here's one of, I guess, the Kingpin's employers or one of the gangsters who works under him. He says, "Put simply, gentlemen, crime is on the rise, and therefore so are our profits. You are dismissed. One moment, Mr. Fisk." Okay, so someone said that, and then another person they stood up. "One moment, Mr. Fisk. Mr. Fisk." That's a Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. "There's nobody in this room who would question your authority or your judgment, Mr. Fisk." Just as he's about to. Whenever someone says that, they're about to question someone's authority. It's always guaranteed, invariably. There's nobody in this room who would question your authority or your judgment, Mr. Fisk. Nonetheless, who's he? Every July? "Hey, Fleddy, these are great. Sorry, I'm working, so we'll just mostly be listening." Absolutely. Thanks, man. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for listening and watching, And if you guys like it, share it, please. I would appreciate it. And also, if you're watching, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. I would appreciate it. And like it also on YouTube and on X. Hey, John. So here's a guy questioning the Kingpin's authority when he says he didn't. Nonetheless, that's, again, every Julyism. Nonetheless, certain allocations, yeah, me too, John. I couldn't make it. It was a little later. I got into some work and I couldn't get out of it. I just kept going. I did 3 pages from last night till today, till right before actually I came on. So got some good work done. These things are tough, guys. Designing pages for comic books. This is a master at work here, which is awesome to look at with a critical eye. And there's not much criticism here, if any. I just love it. Okay, so nonetheless, certain allocations of personnel and funds have come to the attention of the board. And well, sir, there's been a lot of talk about Matt Murdock. And then it goes back to Matt. Fap, fap, fap. Fat Murdock. I keep saying fap, right? It ended up meaning something else after the fact. So the guy continues, and the Kingpin's having his cigar lit up. It's I'm working on something else, and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do. I already have some plans, John. Nothing set yet, though. Once I do, I'm going to actually update it on the campaign. I'm gonna update it on the campaign. You'll see, and I'll put an update on the campaign for anyone who ordered it, that they'll get to see these new remaster pages as I go through them. So I will do that. I'll just replace them with the other pages. But thanks for asking. That's cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna focus on this, and then I'll definitely make my pitch for Pigman again. By the way, I got a handful of backers yesterday. It's awesome. I passed 15,000. I have 236 backers right now. I would love to get some more on this stream. I love doing that, making my pitch and getting live backers. But we'll see. And I got a number of new followers also on X. Muslims have been going a little wild. Also sellouts like Tucker Carlson with the Qs. Basically doing he's a mouthpiece for the Islamic enemy, saying the same things that they are. It's like, okay, I'm going to call him out every single time. So here we go. As this guy is questioning the Kingpin's authority and judgment, Kingpin is getting his cigar lit up by Wesley, his right-hand man. Because now, on an occasional vendetta brings a personal touch to business. It's good for building enthusiasm. But like I said, there's been a lot of talk. And well, you know how important worker confidence is. We're just asking you to explain. Definitely, John. Definitely want to hit at least the 50K, if not more. I'm trying to find other avenues of advertising and, contacted Breitbart twice, haven't heard back. I used to work for them at Big Hollywood 2008 to 2009. You know, we'll see. And also, the ads on X, they're glitchy. Let me just say that. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I put the money in, so I put it, a few $100. Also, super chats. I thought about doing that. Hasn't have a great return. The best thing I can do, I think, is just stream, go on Kings, and hopefully get on some other shows and see what happens. I was invited to this one conference to talk about free speech and Comicsgate and my work and my drawing Muhammad and a Pigman. So we'll see how that goes as well. Thanks, John. All right, guys. And I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to go back and forth between the comments and stuff and keep reading as well. So as this guy's questioning the Kingpin, Matt is punching away at that punching bag. And you hear fap, and then you hear chink. You start hearing it's starting to get a little loose. I mean, he's a normal man, relatively speaking, but he's in great, great shape. And he has these senses. Does it affect his body, his strength? I don't know. Better hearing, better feel, better smell, better touch, radar. Does it affect his physical? I don't know. Maybe. I can't say for sure. He is an enhanced human being. On a physical level, I don't know. There was one issue where some guys were trying to kill him with a 500-pound, barbells with weight on it, and he took it and he threw it back at them, and they were shocked. So maybe he is. I mean, here he is. Then the Kingpin says, "Mr. Switzer, this is a check for the current market value of your shares in the conglomerate. Take it or your family dies. You are all dismissed." And then Wesley asks, it's a great shot of Matt right there. Great shot. Wesley asks, "Mr. Switzer has a weekend in Colorado planned. He skis." Talk about a guy trying to initiate some horrific crime. And Kingpin just responds, "Compound fracture. Both legs." And then Matt's punching away. Fap, fap, chink. This issue is called Saved. And it's not just Matt that's being saved or who has been saved. And I'm thinking, guys, maybe, I've been inspired by Miller and his work and Mez Kelly and a lot of these other artists. And I gave Pigman short gloves. I just like the way it looks. And I'm thinking it's possible that I picked it up from here. I can't say for sure, but it's possible. I just love the way it looks. I don't like the long gloves per se. The short ones just give a little more like a visual impact. I wouldn't want the pigskin leather to go all the way up Pigman's arm. It wouldn't really look great. Anyway, so here we go with this incredible splash page. Look at that. Everything looks right. First of all, the anatomy, and then it's dramatic as hell. Great shadow, great musculature, and just strong stuff. Okay, here we go. And now we go visit with Ben Urich, who last issue finally said the name, Matt Murdock. He was told not to say it or else he'll die, or else actually they'll break the bones in his other hand. So he goes to the cops and he tells them the situation. He can't tell them everything, but he tells them the situation. So as he puts it, "My name is Ben Urich. I'm a reporter. It took them 20 minutes to take down my statement on the murder of Police Lieutenant Nick Manalis." I'm still not sure if it was Manalis or Manalis. That was 3 hours ago. For the record, we were on recitation number 15 when my skull became a bowl of farina. He goes, "Nick was going to confess that he helped the Kingpin frame Matt Murdock. The Kingpin had Nick killed to shut him up. I can't tell you why the Kingpin has it in for Murdock." And Ben says, "I started thinking about Matt just to keep my mind busy. Matt, they'd put me in the drunk tank if I tried to tell them about you." And this is great writing, guys, just overlapping writing. Check this out. "About how you were struck across the eyes and blinded by a radioactive isotope. how your remaining senses were heightened. Suppose I told them, Matt, that you can tell if someone's lying by the sound of a heartbeat, that you can read a printed page by feeling the impression of the ink with your fingertips. Great, great transition, connecting Matt and his friend Ben. And again, the art's very rough here. I like it. It's just very different than last issue, if you recall that. Look at that car even. You know, like some, I guess, suggestive inks almost more than anything else. That those lines there are also the background. Very rough. Cop strangled in hospital bed. The Kingpin of Crime, a 6-part series by Ben Urich. So Urich is going all the way. He's going all in now. Call out the Kingpin publicly. And so the cops, what they do is this. He goes, no, I don't tell them all that, but whatever I do say is enough to convince them to graft a 6-foot Swede to my hip. I wish I could tell you I feel safer with Officer Hegerfors. It's not like having you along, Matt. Nothing is. Knowing you're alive, that would help. The Kingpin robbed you of your career, your home, everything you had. All this while you were teetering on the edge of a nervous breakdown. Nobody's seen you for weeks. And there he is, keeping tabs on Ben, following him, knowing the situation, knowing that he's setting himself out there, and says to himself, maybe he needs some backup. That cop looks like a big cop and he's tough, but he might need some backup here. And then you have the, I think Doris is her name. That's the gangster who works for Kingpin, who was in disguise as a nurse at the hospital, who killed Detective Manellas and also broke Yorick's hand. So she's complaining now. Here's the Kingpin's 2 employees of the Kingpin, and this guy is blushing a little. He goes, please to understand, Lois. Oh, sorry, Lois. All consumed are delighted. All consumed are delighted with the aptitude. All consumed? That's a wrong choice, but I think he's trying to sound smart, which is hilarious. These gangsters trying to use the verbiage, trying to use these big words that they don't even understand. Please to understand, Lois, all consumed are delighted with the aptitude of your performance in the Manellas affair. I myself did make the Kingpin aware of your aforementioned aptitude. Be this as it might, you have killed a cop, and I did a fine job of it. For this, I'm relocated to Arizona? What, pray tell, am I to do with myself in Arizona? I assure you this displacement is of a temporary nature. Your sudden acquisition of guts is cause for organization-wide concern. I love this language, guys. It's hilarious to me. Yorick's sudden acquisition of guts, it's hilarious, is cause for organization-wide concern. If Mr. Yorick is the problem, let me relocate him. Lois is looking for, she wants to stay here in New York City. And the guy says, not to be considered, Lois, as per direct command from Lois. And then here's a diner. Ben Urich and his cop bodyguard, Hegerfors. What is this thing? A hamburger. Not the worst thing on the menu, officer. You should try the meatballs. No wonder this joint is deserted. That's why I like it. Good place to get some writing done. Once you get used to the smell. Look, I'd better call my wife. Tell her we've got company tonight. All I need is a couch, Miss Urich. You don't know Doris. So that's Doris, Urich's wife. That's Lois and that's Doris. And Matt's right behind the counter, listening to it all, taking it in. He's figuring out, okay, he's in trouble. Again, I'll be there for backup just in case. So Doris, Urich's wife, says, I don't care what the man said, Ben. He's our guest, and I won't take a minute to fix him a proper bed. Someone at the door, honey. See you soon. Hello? Mrs. Urich, it's your husband. It's very bad. I remember reading that for the first time, like, ah, shit. 40 minutes on the subway. I blocked them out. Knock, knock. Open up, doll. It's me. Probably got the washer running. Clack, clack, click. All those locks. Took months to convince her to keep the door locked. She's from Idaho, tends to trust people. Even New York hasn't cured her of woof, boom. That monster slugs him hard in his gut. And then she goes after the cop. And York's like, Doris. He's like, Doris, oh no, Doris. He hears something terrible. And he sees that that monster hung her from the shower with something, pantyhose, or I don't know what it is. And she's choking. Yorick, oh no, baby, oh no, honey, no. Knots too tight, honey, baby, oh no. While he's trying to save her, she's doing a number on that cop, that monster. Crack. She looks over. What? And someone punches her hard. We know that glove. We know that jacket by now. And look at this shot also. Again, guys, the composition. Look at this. The attention to detail with the tile inside the shower. Her dress, that's awesome. That's a design that he picked up and put on there. And then this also, this cropping is just awesome. Because, you know, what we're focused on is him trying to reach something to cut that thing off. And also, even there, even his hands, the knuckles popping, the veins knocking over everything else. It's a matter of life and death at this moment. And he's trying to hold her up. And then that monster picks up the cop's gun. And Matt's there, kicks it out, kicks her against the wall. And Yurik says, don't move, honey, don't move. Cough, cough. Ugh. Great shot. Look at that. Great shot. Great color. Great shadow right there. Right in my home. Right in my own home. Right in my own home, Yurik says. I stand there for a full minute holding the razor with no idea how to use it. Before I notice the handcuffs and her broken jaw. It sinks in. Matt, you're alive. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Hello, Mr. York. You might not remember me. I'm Melvin Potter. That's the gladiator who used to be a villain of Daredevil's, has since reformed, is a costume maker. And Kingpin wants him to make a costume. We'll see more about that. Yeah, that's right, Mr. York. I read your article in today's Bugle about the Kingpin. We ought to talk. I mean, we have to talk tonight. That's the color of the costume he's making. And Melvin says, it's about Daredevil. It's urgent. And Yurik says, tonight? No, can't talk tonight. Tomorrow. They made the letters smaller to suggest whispering. Since I've been doing my lettering digitally, what I do is I make the letters smaller and in gray instead of black to suggest whispering, instead of the dots around the word balloon, which I never really liked. But it has to be tonight. It's a matter of life and click. I mentioned this also in the original art. Look at that line, that straight line. Love it. Yep, Torchbearer Studios says, I wish Miller still wrote at this level. Me too, man. And there's no reason why he can't. I don't know why he hasn't, why he doesn't, why he hasn't. There's no reason why he really can't. You know, great writers can write great until old age. It's a mind thing. It's creative, you know, it's creativity, imagination. There's no reason. But, you know, who knows? I know he's gone through some stuff, self-inflicted stuff, but I don't know. Look at this, guys. From 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different scenes. Look at this. 4 different scenes on one page, just separated by panel placement. Like that's placed a little more distant from there. That's put a little further from that one. It's not along with it. I love these things. I love those type of choices. Right in my own home, Ben York says. And then Matt's running over the rooftops. What an awesome shot. Awesome shot. Great silhouette. And then the silhouette, sure, but then he also draws out the icicles and the snow. So here we are, and it's a Kingpin talking to some doctor. He goes, "This one has a thing for families. I'm afraid I can't give you an exact body count. His lawyer got his record sealed, but it's respectable. Respectable. Goes for knives mostly, but I'm sure he could be talked into using a club. I should warn you, he's unpredictable." Kingpin says he will do. Arrange for his release. I noticed this also, that great placement of blacks there on his coat. Reminds me of Milton Caniff. This rich, heavy blacks placed beautifully. So then here's Melvin talking to his girlfriend. He goes, "Said they're going to blow up the shop and kill me, Betsy, unless I make this Daredevil costume." And Matt's on the rooftop hearing it all clearly with his super-powered hearing. "I know they're up to something rotten. They want it tonight. I don't know what to do. Terrible. That's how I feel. You know what Daredevil has done for me. I'd be in prison if not for him. But my shop. Betsy, please stop asking me how I feel. I don't need you as a therapist. I need to know what to do." Haven't we heard that? How do you feel? No, skip all that. You just don't know what I should do. I don't know why I'm speaking with you. Goodbye, Betsy. Melvin hears a voice. "Make the costume. No one will be hurt." Melvin says, "Pleasure to hear your voice, Daredevil." That's awesome. That's awesome. And then Foggy is with Karen. If you remember last issue, Foggy brought Karen back home with him because he heard from her that the guy she's with beats her. And he's like, "No, we're family. You're going to stay with me?" She goes, "He'll kill us. You're family." He wouldn't take no for an answer. So he's a real good guy, wholesome, and seeing his old secretary and friend thrown up in the toilet from being a junkie is it's pretty tough for him. He goes, "Karen, can I get you anything?" "Sick. She's so sick and it won't stop." This is Miller. "Nothing in her stomach, but her body doesn't know that, and she's so sick." Foggy has seemed so stupid with Foggy here. He's part of another world. When Karen Page was pretty and innocent, and Foggy's secretary, and Matt's. "No, Foggy. I'm okay." I got this savage blasting his engine. Looks like he's going in circles. Anyway, before the movies and the men and the junk, another world, she thought she could come back to it. Thought she needed. All she needs is a fix. She looks out the window. Needed Matt, but Matt's gone, probably dead, and it's her fault. Sold him out, sold his secret identity for one lousy fix. Just like a junkie. Self-loathing is kicking in. Foggy couldn't stop me if I jumped right now. So she looks down and she sees the guy who she was with, who brought her to America. He's probably from a Mexican cartel or something. He's a bad guy, Paulo. And she recoils back, and he's like, "Yeah, I see you." She goes, "Paulo, it's Paulo. Down there, just waiting, must have been following me all along, all the way from his hotel." Foggy says, that the guy that beat you up? Where?" "Said he'd kill me if I ran out on him, and I did. He's crazy. He'll kill us both." "Devil, he will. I'm calling the police." You know, Foggy shows his grit. It's really cool. It just shows you And while he doesn't know his friend is Daredevil, he's got some of that in him, a willingness to protect a friend. I like it. I like it a lot. So here's that psychopath that came being released. Gave him a Daredevil suit. And indeed, he is Paula, Egon the Dragoncock. And then they're in a car. And this is one of the Kingpin's employees who's trying to explain to this psychopath, this unpredictable, violent mass murderer. Mr. Potter did a commensurate job on that costume. Why would he tell him that? Were you of the verbal persuasion, I am certain that you would agree. Put it on and listen closely as I give with your instructions. It's pretty sloppy for the Kingpin to do that. That's desperation at that point. You know, Kingpin pretends to be this calm, cool, collected. He's desperate to bring a psychopath into this. And as they drive Matt's on their rooftop, you will be deposited in an alley beside an apartment building. You will climb the fire escape and enter said building through the roof entrance, which shall be unlocked. You will descend yourself to apartment 5B. Therein you will make use of this here billy club to cause anatomic damage to one Franklin Nelson and whosoever else may habitate the apartment. Said damage is to be of a permanent nature. That language, again, it's hilarious. It's comical. We should see that more in like gangster movies where guys try to sound smart, like the imbecile Carmine Jr. in The Sopranos. His malapropisms, is that how you pronounce it? It's funny, I couldn't even pronounce the word. But it's hilarious when these idiots try to sound intelligent. And so Franklin Nelson and Foggy call the cops, and they pull up on that. They pull up, right? Pull up on Paulo. Hold it right there, you. Raise your hands. Sure, officer. No problem. Kablam! Gets one. He smiles like a savage, and then he shoots at the window. Also, just a small little, body language here. The way Matt Kelly draws Karen, she's leaning back and you see her stomach muscles. It's not because she works out, because she's a junkie who hasn't eaten, who's been thrown up. It's a nice little touch there. Great action, great action. The legs wide apart there. And then you got some of the Kingpin's guys. Been some action, boss. Freak with a shotgun aced 2 cops. Page is still up there. Do we move in? Stay where you are. If Page or Nelson tries to leave the building, kill them. Do it quickly. There'll be more police. So the Kingpin, police. I need not arrange for news coverage. As I had planned, Daredevil will... Okay, police. I need not arrange for news coverage. As I had planned, Daredevil will be spotted. Lady One says, sorry forever more when I hear a villain pontificating with an elaborate vocabulary. I'll be seeing each aid and villain instead. I know. It's so embarrassing. Again, I've known people who have a large vocabulary and who make the most of it, and it's embarrassing. I've done my share of reading and writing and learning as much as I could. And I know certain words what might be more appropriate, accurate, maybe, but they go by the wayside. You want to be communicable. You want to communicate. You want to be clear. That's the goal of your work and of your presentation of your work on videos and such. It's just, it's not good. It's a bad habit. And it happens to be with really stupid people who need to try to prove that they're not stupid. That's what happens. People would say, well, that's ego. It's a lack of ego. Ego would not get oneself to try to prove that they're smart when they're not. You know what I mean? It's a lack of ego, a deficit. So here's Kingpin. And Matt Murdock will find his alter ego charged with the murder of his former partner and best friend. Still, the timing is delicate. My rented psychopath will have to move swiftly. This is a really stupid move on the Kingpin's part in terms of just a criminal mastermind. It's really dumb. He put all this in the hands of a psychopath who cannot be trusted. Again, it's just desperation, and he's getting more desperate. He wants to bring Nuke into the picture. That's desperation. So here's Kingpin's employee trying to explain to the psychopath what he needs to do. Move swiftly, make with an appearance at the window, and don't forget the escape route. Elsewise, you will be apprehended, which would blow the plan in its entireness. Apartment 5B. Say it. Say it back so I know you are not without ears. So I know you are not without ears. 5B. Thwack! 5B, 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 5B. Kills him and is loving it. Climbs up. And again, look at the way, she's a beautiful woman, Karen Page. And Maz Kelly is showing her in her worst state. She looks like a junkie. She looks like hell. The thin lips, the black around her eyes, the eye bags. 2 policemen have been shot. Yes, that's West 70th and Columbus. They'll be right. She takes that pot and smashes Foggy's head to knock him out. With good reason from her perspective. No hope for me anyway. I'm dead. She goes, but Foggy, I can go to Paulo and he won't kill Foggy. Do that much right. And then this guy, the psychopath, trying to open the door. Thump, thump. And then something breaks through the door. Thwack. Walk. Great shot. Great shot. Very, very exciting. It's like Maz Kelly is not known to be like he's more realistic, he's more representational, but this is great stuff here. Great action. Here's Karen. Again, it's so well the way he draws her face, her eyes, her thinned out lips, just the nostrils there, like a skull. Very effective, man. Just tells you how far she's fallen. And here she is in her mind. Maybe if I talk to Paulo, be nice. He'll just slap me around. Whew. Maybe he'll even fix me up. He's always carrying. Crazy junkie. He'll kill you. Think of Foggy. Man. Kingpin's keeping tabs on what's going on. Pity to lose Nelson. I only recently arranged to have him hired. Small sacrifice. To draw Murdock out of hiding, to finally know where he is. Page just hit the street, boss. We're moving in. Now that's good gangster language, or any language. Page just hit the street, boss, instead of the way the other guy would have explained it. Karen, baby. Paulo grabs her. Paulo, we gotta talk. Sure, baby. Let's talk. Boom. Yeah. And then Kingpin's guy is like, both? Course. As in, kill them both? Of course. Kingpin said, kill them both. Yeah. What? Spack, spack, spack. Come on. Great movement. Look at this fight. Crack. The guy is smiling away. So strange to see Daredevil in this look. Of course, it's a psychopath, but still, anyone who's watching thinks it is Daredevil. 5B, 5B, Clud. 5B, walk. 5B. Hits a nerve. Boom. Knows exactly where to hit. Snack. Hits him again. He falls to the ground. Look at that shot again. Look at that. I showed it before on the original art. Look at that. That is awesome. Great angle. Great camera movement. Quote unquote camera movement. Oops. I just gotta get that. Keep getting this flap over, which really, really sucks, guys. And look at that. A roundhouse. Boom! Knocks him out. Right out of the picture. And then this is great also. Whether it's Miller, the letterer, or Mazzucchelli, whoever did it. I love when this happens. John Workman did that on Thor a number of times. A larger panel, a smaller word, right in the middle. It gives him more impact. He goes, turns around, Karen. You know, he hasn't seen Karen in years. He senses her, smells her, hears her. Can't see her, but he knows it's her. Blam! Blam! The shootout between the Kingpin's thugs and Paulo. He gets it again, Paulo. Karen falls. And what's she thinking of? I'm hit. I'm hit, baby. Get the gun. No, you stinking junkie. Rip me off. Dead end alley. Dead end. Anyway, doesn't matter. Go for one last fix. One last time. Kingpin's guys are still shooting. Matt's running as fast as he can over the rooftops. Paulo's like, take you with me, Karen Page. Ah, look at that shot. Look at that expression. It's fantastic. One last fix. Stop shaking. Find the vein. Won't even feel the bullet. One last. Find the vein. I love you, Matt. The last thing she says before. And then Matt gets to the edge, kicks the icicle down, hits Paulo right in the arm, takes that billy club, knocks out the Kingpin's guy. What the fuck? And then Karen's in complete shock. She drops the syringe. And then, here we go. It's worth a full page shot. Beautifully drawn. Rough as hell behind. It's a rough issue, a rough scene. And then you have Urich breaking it down. Ben Urich, the reporter. It's perfect that he would break it down. That's a great thing that also that Mazzucchelli did there. He had these long panels broken in half with the narration. So here we go. I'll get to your comments after, guys. In case you're too lazy to read the newspaper, or worse, you get it from television. A lot has happened. Again, this is Ben Urich, reporter from the Daily Bugle, speaking, breaking down what just happened. 5 bodies were found by police on and around a West Side apartment building. The live one was on the roof, stripped naked and suffering from multiple contusions. Turns out he's a certified lunatic. The doctor who arranged for his release is now working in Florida as a gardener. That's a psychopath. 2 of the dead ones were known criminals. Both had previously served prison terms. One, in fact, Felix Manning by name, was still on parole. Their corpses and their employment records have sparked an investigation that will keep the Kingpin's attorneys busy for months. The other 2 were Officers Spanner and Trumbull of the New York City Police. They leave a husband, a wife, and 4 kids behind to wonder why. Yeah. 2 more were apprehended fleeing the scene. One was Michael Kemp, a 3-time loser. The other, Paolo Scorsese, faces several life sentences for outstanding convictions of armed robbery, drug trafficking, and murder. Doris, well, her neck still hurts and she's taking to wearing a scarf to hide the bruise, but she can talk again and even laughs when I say she sounds like Brenda Vaccaro. But she can talk again and even laughs when I say she sounds like Brenda Vaccaro. I think that's the actress from show. It was a waitress. As for me, like I told you, I'm a reporter. I'm going to find out where Matt Murdock is and what he has become. Awesome. I don't want to get ahead, but it's a little preview of that. That's the 5th issue of the Born Again series, guys, which is, again, I think Miller's finest writing, and it's where Mazzucchelli just went from a damn good artist to a all-time great. All-time great. It was this series, and then he took this and went to Batman Year One, and just, wowed us with the confidence that he had to draw Batman with no real cuts on the suit. It was a very, when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell? And it works. And it's something about it, very elegant. It works. Egon Dragoncock says Kingpin has been desperate since the end of the 3rd issue, I think, when he realized a man without hope is a man without fear. Yeah. Yep. Next issue is epic. And then the final one, it's just, you got 2 more, guys. And then issue 233, which I will review in 2 more videos moving forward. But I'm also going to look over issue 226 that came prior to this series, which was Miller dialoguing it, I believe. Him and Denny O'Neil did the crossover where Denny was the writer. Miller came in. I think he either wrote half that issue or did the dialogue for the entire one. If you read it, it's like a Miller issue from start to finish. A real great crime comic. And then that goes to this. It's a big, it was a big deal. Miller coming back to a Daredevil. But just as a writer, it was like, oh, okay. What's he got here? Interesting. Yeah, guys, this is great stuff. Great stuff. I'm going to close that. And I'm going to show my campaign. Thanks for being here, guys. I do appreciate it, as always. Thank you very much. Let me put that a little smaller. If you haven't backed it, please consider backing it, guys. I would really appreciate your support. I want this to go as far as issue 6. I mean, I want issue 1 to be a success, shooting for maybe, I guess, the 50K. We'll see how it goes. Again, I tried a number of ways to get it out there. I got 26,000 followers on X. I make the most use of it as I can. I did buy some ads. They did turn a profit to the point where it was worth making the ads, and they were working. Again, I got 150,000 views on it. A lot of people react to it. It was love or hate, period. It's never in between with this work. It really isn't. I get people call me racist, call me every name in a book, and even today, you racist. It's like, yeah, it's tough to say when I was, born to Muslim parents, raised Muslim, left Islam. When people can convert to Islam, when people can leave Islam, it's not a race issue. It's ideology and religion. Anyway, so thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it as always. Just want to make my pitch. Pigment number 1. The Islamic background of twins comes to the forefront of their lives on 9/11, which is echoed by the comic book within, Pigman vs. Super Jihad. Now, I would play this video. I got hit with some kind of copyright thing, which is wrong because I paid for this music to be used in this video. Paid for it. I don't get it. I'd like to find out. I need to speak to someone and work that out because I don't want to be hit for something that is just not the case. But I don't want to be hit again because now they might actually hit my channel. But I have 236 backers. I got a few yesterday. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. $15,419 raised in 25 days. And here's more of my pitch, guys, about this campaign. When 9/11 hit, my Muslim background came to the forefront of my life, and I knew I would respond to the atrocity with my art. So I thought about my Muslim background, what we were taught to hate, and I came up with the idea of Pigman, as he's the last thing in the world that the Islamic enemy would want to face. An ex-Muslim who's big, ruthless, and who wears pigskin leather to exploit their bigotry. And then there's a story within the story of twin brothers, one a recovered Muslim, one a born again Muslim. The recovered Muslim, Killian Duke, is the cartoonist behind the Pigman comic book, and the born again Muslim, Salam Duka, becomes his archenemy, echoing Pigman's archenemy, Super Jihad. If this sounds and looks interesting to you, I can move on to Pigman number 2 and further. And now some details about Pigman number 1. This is a relaunch of my longtime series, The Infidel, featuring Pigman, which is now simply titled Pigman. Issue 1 will include both issue 1 and 2 of my old series, but it will be remastered where I will be going through the comics page by page and improve them in drawing and dialogue. And I will also be adding more moments, scenes, and pages to the issue, as well as new covers. This is an opportunity for me to introduce Pigman to a new audience in Comicsgate, and I'm very much looking forward to continuing my series with your help. If this campaign goes well, I can move on to issue number 2, and then issue 3. It will be all new material, and then by issue 3, it will be all new material, and I hope to finish up the series with issue 6, and then wrap it all up in a pigskin leather-bound hardcover. And below are 9 pages from my comic book, which may or may not be changed from here to print, but I'll see. I think these pages are a good way for you to get a good idea about my comic book without giving too much away. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to gain your support. Bosh Fawston. Update, new cover. Here was the new cover that I released a week ago. I think last week. And Pigman, jihadist blood, war paint. Pigman number 1, the jihadist's worst nightmare. Here's Osama bin Laden. I'll shoot, I swear. Don't touch me. He knows about the pigskin. Here's the opening. The inciting incident is as dramatic as possible and had to be this. Frank Warner and his friend Muhammad have been partners for years, both ex-Muslims running against the Islamic Jihad. Muhammad's life has taken a turn. He's not doing too well. And he's been a little lax in his partnership going against Islamic Jihad. And they're on the rooftop. And he tells me at one point, he goes, "You just going to stand there?" Frank, when he sees him on the rooftop, on the ledge, he goes, "You're just going to stand there?" That's his type of humor. And they have a little talk, and then as they're talking, they hear this vicious sound, 500 miles per hour. I believe that's how fast the savages were going, 500 miles per hour. And they fly right into the tower. And Frank says, "Yvonne." She works there, his wife. And then it cuts to the comic book. It goes from the comic book within to the comic book, to the realistic comic book part of it, with Killian working on Pigman. And he goes, "They've come to kill us and we'll die for it." And then here he gets in a street fight with some savages, stealth jihadists from your Muslim friends, YMF. He calls them YMFers at one point. Here's Pigman's first appearance in the book. I designed this. Let me show you guys here. I designed this. I think you guys can see my arrow here, not the other way. I designed this with an X in mind. This page, if you notice, you got these big bad terrorists, and you got a small Pigman. But the bigger Pigman gets, the smaller they get. I know it's just a matter of that's what's happening. They're running, but I just like the way it looked. It was a good way to show. And then you get the slight close-up. You don't get a full look at him yet, though. You don't get to see him until he turns around and sees Osama bin Laden right there. And then you got the brothers, the twins, having it out. It gets from arguments to more. Pigman in action, trying to avoid some savage jihadists, suicide bombers. As he puts it here, he's at the edge of a cliff. They were all coming from, screaming Allahu Akbar. Turns around, jumps, and they jump along. Some of them do it proudly, happily, with complete abandon. Some of them aren't quite as committed. Some of them aren't quite as committed. They have some second thoughts. Pigman there is saying this. He goes, madmen. He goes, misogynists dying and killing for 72 women. Only in Islam. Poosh! Shoots his grappling gun. And they blow it up. Allahu Akbar. So you guys got to find out what happens. And then I also have debates at comic book conventions. I have debates on TV and so on. These ideological debates about the enemy, about Islam, and so on. And let me run through what I'm offering here as rewards for this campaign. Here's a cover to, here's the cover one. And as I put it here, you know, written, penciled, inked, lettered, colored, and published by Bosch Fulson. 60 plus pages, might be more, guys. We'll see. So 60 plus pages of a story that takes on the Islamic enemy and its leftist allies. This is a different kind of war comic. Culture war, political war, philosophical war, media war, brothers at war, and war on the battlefield. Recovered Muslims versus born again Muslims. And that's the second cover. War paint. Jihad is blood. That's the third cover. Pigman versus Super Jihad. Killian versus Salam. Recovered Muslims on this side. Born again Muslims on this side. This is Pigman making his vow to end jihad with tombstones of the Twin Towers. As a fifth cover, it's a different shot. I wanted all the covers to be different from the other. Nearly a full body shot, full close up, showing the four main characters. That black and white, and then this. I also make Pigman hard index card drawings as well. Here are the 5 covers you can get in one shot. Digital copies as well. A t-shirt of Pigman's chest symbol. And as you can tell, as I've said before, but I'll say it again, September 11th, or 9/11. Also, those 2 dents there make a 3 on that thing, so it's Flight 93 on 9/11, and also the first attack on the Twin Towers, 1993, where they killed 6 people. And then basically a traditional S like Superman, and then also a $, because he's a capitalist pig. But in short, it is September 11th. And then I have also the war paint cover as a print as well. And then you can, I want it all pack. You can get everything here. I got this, including the trading card here. Submission Impossible. Table for One, my first graphic novel, which on the basis of it, I was nominated for an Eisner Award and also a Russ Manning Most Promising Newcomer Award. People were asking for it. I added it to it, and I'm glad I did. It'll be nice to have more copies on hand because it's out of print now. I also have some sketch covers that I can draw Pigman, Killian, and others. And I have original art pages, and then I have Pigman commissions, where original drawing of Pigman, penciled ink by me with an idea by you. Thanks for thanks for staying here, guys. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much, as always, for being here. I'm enjoying doing this series. I'm probably going to do some more. I mean, maybe I might do Miller's first run on Daredevil. Definitely going to do Daredevil Man Without Fear with Frank Miller, John Romita Jr., Al Williamson. It's fantastic. And then Batman Year One, and so on. Definitely. I might just do Batman Year One after this to go from where Miller and Mazzucchelli went. Because after this, they took a little time off and then went right to Batman Year One. Just to show the contrast also in the style that Mazzucchelli chose. Because he was very, he went from very representational, almost realistic, to a little more stylized, and then he went to more stylized Batman Year One. And the finished work was, whether he was conscious of it or not, he supposedly says he wasn't, but more like of an homage to Alex Toth, because the finished work looked like Alex Toth inked it almost. It was that damn good. Guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You guys be well. Until next time. Thank you.